Hey, it's the Ray Rican, and today I want to talk about an underreported story and a couple of other stories there. But the main one here is like a complaint about the left-wing media and it being left-wing media, the bias in it. But also you have Facebook, and if you've ever been fact-checked by Facebook, you'll know what I'm talking about because you'll get these an independent um, fact checking organization. It's like it's fact checking your opinion. That's what it should say, but that's not what it really says. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you what happened over the weekend. Facebook makes a shocking admission about its fact check labels in court filing. It goes here. Okay. It just talks about PJ Media has been fact checked by Facebook. Um, but now it goes here. Facebook is admitting what many of us have known to be true for some time. Its fact check labels are opinions rather than definitive renderings of the facts. In court filings embedded below, related to a defamation lawsuit by John Stossel, Meta, the parent company of Facebook, claimed that the platform did not defame the veteran journalist because they were merely offering an opinion when labeling his videos about climate change as partly false. Meta insists that Stossel was not defamed because the fact checks were written by a third-party organization. All Facebook did was affix labels to the videos based on the articles written by the fact checkers and the conclusions that they reached. As such, the labels themselves were merely constitute protected opinions, said Meta's lawyers. Essentially, Facebook is trying to divorce itself from the claims being made by fact checkers it relies on. In this, a French climate alarmist operation called Climate Feedback, operating under the umbrella of science feedback, which Stossel said defamed him by attaching disparaging labels to his videos related to the climate change debate. But it goes here, essentially Facebook, no, but according to Meta, even if Stossel could attribute climate feedback separate pages to Meta, the challenge statements on those pages are neither false nor defamatory. So anyways, so basically they're admitting that their quote unquote third party fact checkers is just opinion, which we've said all along. And it's a big story that's not being covered. And when I tell you it's not being covered, when you search, you have to be careful which search engine you use, because depending which search engine you use is what results you're going to get. Now I'm going to show you Google first. I Googled the story, Facebook fact checkers are opinion. And here, there's only one story about it. It goes, no, not even. This is from March 5th. So, Facebook fact checkers protected opinion court filing. And there's a Stossel, but that's it. So now here, same fact, same, did I put the same thing? Yeah, because I copied and pasted. So here goes. Here on DuckDuckGo, you have all these right-leaning websites. So all the same, all talking about the same thing. Blue State Conservative, Reclaim the Net, was this Granite Grok, Truth Telling, WordPress, Headline USA, here's Climate Depot, The Right Scoop, American Thinker. Yeah. So yeah. So you go all the way down here, and that's, so you have all these articles on DuckDuckGo and none really until you get to the bottom pages here on Google. But it's nothing new. That's what happens with these left-wing sites. their algorithms push you toward what they want you to see. And, part to go with this Facebook fact checking is that it goes here. Here's another story. Newsguard rating system heavily skews in favor of left-wing outlets. Newsguard ratings for media outlets show clear left-wing bias. Average rating for left-leaning outlets, 93%. Average ratings for right-leaning outlets, 66%. And this is where the fact checkers come in, because you have these fact checkers really just injecting their opinion into somebody else's opinion. But what happens is NewsGuard uses these fact checkers to rate the media outlets. And that's why you have 93 versus 66 when it comes to right versus left. But it's not a surprise. This is what goes on. If you pay attention, you see it. That's why, always bring back to that conversation that I had with the lady at the pool. When all you get, when you think that MSNBC and CNN are always telling you the truth and you won't listen to anything else, then you're going to be ill-informed, misinformed, however you want to look at it. You're only having less than half the story. Okay, because you're just getting their biased version and you're just accepting it. You don't question it. And if you're going to tell me it's the same on my side, well, I know my bias. That's why when I was looking for the story, I was looking for an NBC story. I was looking for an ABC story, maybe CNN, so I could show what they're talking about and then show the bias in the search engines. I mean, well, I didn't know it was going to show the bias in the search engines until I actually searched for the story. And I heard it on the radio and on right-leaning radio and a podcast, and I wanted to point it out here. But that's, like I said, that's the whole media ecosystem when it comes with the fact checking with Facebook, Twitter, all those, they all help each other out. They all work together. Not saying they're there in like a room smoking cigars. We're gonna do, being the villain. That's not what I'm saying when they work together. I'm just saying that they're so in lockstep ideology, they protect each other. Whether they actively realize they're doing it in some cases, or they're just passively doing it in others. They'll omit stories like this one. It's a story that should be getting more press, but obviously it's not, because it's covering for what Facebook's doing, because they agree with what Facebook's doing. They want to put these fact checks in there because they want to fact check opinions, different readings of numbers. That's what's been going on in the media for years. That's why I've been a fan of alternative media for 20 years. And that's why you get frustrated when you watch the news and you're seeing a story that is biased, and then you have your friends, you have left-leaning friends, they'll tag me on Occupy Occupy Democrats or the other 98%, and I'm just there like, if this is where you're getting your information from, it's no wonder you believe what you believe. And yes, I'm doing the eye roll thing. I mean, the eye rub thing, because it's like, ugh, I hate when I get those. It's like, I had to eventually tell my friend, look, I have my politics page and I have my personal page. If you're going to tag me in a political post, tag my political page, not my personal page. So he eventually started doing that there. But it is what it is. But like I said, I'm not surprised. And something that should be um, scary to Democrats come 2022 is this story. They should be frightened. Biden and Democrats lose grip on Hispanic voters. Democrats are losing their edge with Hispanic voters, and prominent members of the minority community are sounding the alarm to President Joe Biden and their Capitol Hill colleagues before next year's midterm cycle. Democrats no longer have an advantage with Hispanic voters when they were asked whether they would support their local Democrat or Republican congressional candidate if the midterm elections were held today, according to a Wall Street Journal poll last week. Last year, more than 60% told pollsters they would cast a ballot for their House Democratic contender. Researchers found this month, 37% said they would make the same choice, while the same percentage would back the Republican. Roughly 1 in 5 remain undecided. Republicans are undermining Democrats' stranglehold on the Hispanic vote as Biden's Justice Department sues states such as Georgia over its election integrity laws and Texas over its redistricting proposal, both of which argues discriminate against minorities, which I think is bullshit. But with the overall Hispanic population growing at a faster rate than any other demographic in the U.S., both parties know that the 2022 midterm kingmakers could be these Hispanic voters, he told the Washington Examiner. We found the issue of education to be disproportionately higher among Hispanics in many of our polls, along with immigration, as well as socialist political attacks from Republicans. And here's the whole thing. This is what I'm going to say. When you live in these cities, when you have these no bail policies, who's it affecting the most? The poor Blacks and Latinos. Now the Blacks, they're just 95%. They stay on that Democrat plantation. I think, they're slowly, but I mean, they're not moving out of they're not moving off the Democrats as nearly as fast as Hispanics are, because we don't let them just own our vote. And the Democrats think that, allowing illegal immigration is going to win them the Hispanic vote, which, truth be told, most Hispanics do not care about, especially illegal immigration. We don't care about it. It's not our main focus. It doesn't do anything in our daily lives. You'll have let's say you have illegals coming in from Latin America. Maybe you have a family member that's affected by that. But other than having a personal stake in it, most Latinos, we don't. And then you have Latinos that come from countries that had communism and socialism, like Cuba and Venezuela, and they don't want it. They don't want it. They're the far left policies espoused by these new Democrats, and especially these democratic socialists. They are scaring the hell out of these old Latino voters, especially, like I said, especially the Cubans and Venezuelans. They know what it's like to live under socialism and communism. And they don't want it here. And they're warning other Latino groups to keep an eye on that. And, just like anybody else, we care about the economy. We care about education. Of course, as a Latino, we're in a funny position when it comes to this critical race theory, because they focus on white and black, but we're stuck in the middle. Because if you're a dark-skinned Latino, they'll welcome you into the that you're part of the black crowd. But when you're like a lighter skinned Latino like me, they'll want me, oh, I'm trying to be white. They won't listen to me. They'll be like, oh, you're trying to be white. I'm like, I ain't trying to be nothing. If I was trying to be white, why would I put that I'm Puerto Rican? Why would I have 2 flags instead of 1? I'm proud of I'm proud of being American, and I'm proud of being Puerto Rican. I could be proud of both. But that's not what they want when they want to divide Latinos. So like I said, being a light-skinned one, they'll try to call me racist, but it's like, you could try, it's not going to work because I don't give a shit. Because I know I'm not. So, well, you could say whatever name in the book, doesn't matter. And that's what I encourage my white friends to do. Don't let them don't let them make you be scared to have your opinion, because the fact that, oh well, you're a white cis male, blah blah blah, no, have your opinion. If there's no hate in your heart and it's just a disagreement in political policy, then fuck them. Excuse me, there's no nice way to say it. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a nice way to say it, just doesn't have the same flavor. Just don't let them control you by using that word as a cudgel to keep you subdued. Fight back like I do. I mean, like I said, it's easier for me because, especially in the summer, because like right now I'm losing my tan here in the winter, but come in the summer and I start tanning, I get darker. The advantage of being a Latino, we get best of both worlds. Okay, anyways, all jokes aside, but that's what's going on. The Democrats their policies are turning off Hispanic voters in a large way. The question will be, will they wake up and not just not vote Democrats? Because that'll be good too. It'll be good for people who to not go and vote Democrat, that would just mindlessly go vote Democrat. We need people to actively vote against them, because their policies are not just hurting us as a people, Latinos as a people, but America in general. It's hurting this country. You got crime skyrocketing, inflation skyrocketing, and economy. The stock market may be doing good, but it's costing more to go to the supermarket. It's costing more to fill up your tank, and you feel it. And they could tell you that the economy is doing good, or they could gaslight you all they want. But you feel it there in the pump. You feel it when you're buying groceries. I went to go buy water. I had my daughter's birthday party this weekend. When I went to BJ's to get a case of water, I remember earlier this year they rose the price, and it went from like $2.99 to like $3.29, and I was like, damn. I went this weekend. The price of water was over $4 a case of 40 for 16-ounce bottles. It's like, really? Wow. But that's Biden inflation for you. And this is what happens when you what's the word I used? I said, when you vote against instead of vote for a candidate. Because all people cared about was that the media made you hate Trump, and the orange man was bad. And the orange man wasn't that bad. We wouldn't be in this situation economically if we had made the right choice last year. But here we are. We have to live with it for another 3 years. And hopefully in the next year we could send a message loud and clear that these far left policies are not wanted in this country as a whole, and that the Democrats need to moderate. And I'm going to leave it there. I'm the Right Rican. You can follow me here on YouTube and Rumble. You could also follow me. You can interact with me in social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, Getter, Clout Hub, Parler, all of those things. I'm on all of them. All right. That being said, have a good one.